people take things easy. They are relaxed. They don't have to work. Here, fools can survive. Fools don't die here. Somebody can be stupid. He will not die. He will not live well, but he will also not die. He will just be there. Tafire, Tachizire. The Nyankoro, that's what they would say. He is not dead, he is not all right, but he's there. And even today, you can imagine with modern medicine, the population of Africa now is 1.3 billion. But the population of India is still slightly bigger than the population of Africa, in spite of Africa being 12 times bigger than India. And that's why, when we came into government, I never believed the line that population control, you have never heard me talking about that. For me, I said, Muzare, you just... The NGOs were not happy with me, but I'm not convinced that the problem of Africa is population. In fact, the problem of Africa has been underpopulation. Now, this small population had an impact on formation of states, centralization, forming strong kingdoms. Because here, each group could remain independent. And I quote examples here, where small groups live alone, although they are similar, they speak the same language, but they didn't see the importance of having very strong kingdoms, because each one could live separately.
Stories now. The Minister for ICT and National Guidance, Judith Nawakoba, has issued a strong warning against encroaching on Uganda Broadcasting Corporation premises across the country.
The land lying redundant for ages, moreover in the heart of Mbali city, encroachment seems taking center stage almost on a daily basis, as many illegal structures are cited, with others practicing cattle keeping. The minister's tour of the facilities follows concerns from management and members of parliament about encroachment and damages of some upcountry UBC facilities.
They told him there was free land here.
Going to continue lobbying government, but we want also UBC to prioritize their activities. If we know that we have land which is sensitive, which is bound to attract encroachers, it is upon us as leaders, as UBC management, to make sure that the land is fenced off, first of all.
Nabakoba, however, warns encroachers against tampering with UBC properties across the country.
Also, this is a warning to the encroachers that we shall not leave you to encroach our land. This is government land. It needs to be protected. As long as I'm a Minister of ICT and National Guidance, I'm going to fight off those encroachers wherever they are. I want UBC land to be free. I want UBC land to be developed, because we are looking for bigger developments for government under UBC.
Currently, UBC is devising means of utilizing its land to avoid trespasses. Butebo Radio will soon shift to Namatala in Mbali city.
We discovered that it was based on information, false information they had given, that the land was free. Nobody owned it, it was district land, and that it wasn't being occupied. But this is actually UBC land. The history shows there was a radio here in the 70s, which was probably looted in 79. Now, post-79, the different, if you see, everyone just forgot about this piece of land. So we've also been trying to protect it by bringing the studios here.
Of course, this eastern section has been covered, but obviously coverage is done from Kampala. So by bringing it here on ground, it means that we shall get more people involvement. The community leaders will be in position to utilize the airtime provided by UBC.
The minister, who was accompanied by the Deputy Managing Director, Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, Maurice Mugisha, also toured the Wallace UBC transmission site in Sironko district.
We have committed ourselves and said we want to improve our radio and television coverage across the country. We want to actually improve the radio coverage from where we are at in the 70s to about 90%. That will call for improving of the existing infrastructure and being able to upgrade from the old to the new infrastructure, but also increase the coverage, television coverage from about 56 to 70% across the country.
I've seen the UBC facilities and you realize that a lot needs to be done as far as improving on the infrastructure to enable us as government to create efficiency as far as creating a good public broadcaster is concerned in the country. Of course, they are doing work, but under a lot of challenges. I believe that after this monitoring tour, I'll be in position to write a report to His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda. But we are also going to look into the issue of surveying all the land that belongs to UBC.
The team later headed to Palisa district, where UBC Butevo station was also inspected.
We first of all want to appreciate the Honourable Minister for making time to come and visit the UBC facilities and the infrastructure in eastern Uganda. We had an opportunity to take her to Namatala, where we want to set up our UBC Butevo station and migrate it from Kampala to eastern Uganda. And also visit Buwalasi, where we have our transmission site, our DTT and radio transmission infrastructure. And also visit Butevo, where we are now, which has been in the news with the motion of Parliament to have Butevo FM transferred back to Butevo. So this was important for the Minister to appreciate what we've been doing as the corporation, but also understand some of the challenges we are facing.
Nabakoba's Eastern Region Tour will include engagements with NIRA and regional media associations. Robert Onyango, UBC News, Mbale City.
Uganda People Defence Forces and National Association of Broadcasters has signed a memorandum of understanding to cement a good working relationships. This was during a dinner between Uganda People Defence Forces and National Association of Broadcasters at Rivonia Sud in Buea. Now, the dinner was aimed at strengthening the relationship between the media and the UPDF, following some recent misunderstandings between the two parties. Details follow.
Uganda People's Defence Forces and the media have agreed to work closely for the development of the country. This was at a dinner officiated by the Minister of State for Defence and Veteran Affairs, Christopher Chibazanga.
Those negative thinking, you translate them into words. You don't even stop there, you write and disseminate. Then there would be war. And when there is a conflict, then you invite them. And when you invite them, mistakes are made.
Chibazanga, however, accused some media stations of disseminating information intended to taint the image of the force and the country.
We have a democracy of 58 years. But we are comparing ourselves with the democracies of 490 years. Every day, Americans shoot themselves on the streets. Every day, even in hours I talk. Have you ever seen injured bodies on the streets of America? In any news item? Why? They protect their image. They secure their country. For the first time, I want us to be patriotic to our country.
The Chief of Defence Forces, General David Muhozi, called for unity and good relationship between the media and the UPDF, adding that the media and the force aim at ensuring a prosperous country.
And I'm delighted to say that I can feel the thawing of the ice in the air tonight. And I implore you all that whatever happens in our daily chores, we are not enemies, we are partners. We may quarrel, yes, we may scratch each other once in a while, but we mean well. And we should also have time to laugh, to rejoice, to identify the things that we can do together. And there are many. As UPDF, we vow to uphold this partnership at all moments of our relationship.
The chairperson, National Association of Broadcasters, Kin Kalisa, who is also the appropriate of NBS, called for good working environment between the media and the security forces. Kalisa, however, commended the tremendous job done by the UPDF towards protecting the country.
Communique that we'll sign today with the CDF, guaranteeing security, to make sure that as the UPDF, as they do their work, they will make sure that we are protected as media. And I think that's very, very important. From the CDF, I want you to feel free to engage with the media. And I want us to have this event as an annual event. This is my proposal.
The dinner followed a friendly match at KCCA Philip Omonde grounds that attracted media CEOs, media personnel, UPDF officers, among others. Deborah Namamonde, UBC News.
Well, there you have it. The hatchet was buried between the media and UPDF. In more stories, the Commander Land Forces Lieutenant General Peter Elwelu has assured all Ugandans of sustainable peace and stability, courtesy of Uganda People's Defence Forces. This was on the sidelines of a friendly match between UPDF and media at Philip Omonde Playground, Lugogo, near Kampala District. And by the way, the media won.
We are in charge. I don't want to assure you, and I want to assure Ugandans, in terms of security, we are in charge. We know there are challenges outside our country. We still threats across in DRC and other parts of other countries. We know they are there, but we are prepared for them. The good news is that we are prepared for them, and I want to assure Ugandans that we are here for their peace. We shall guarantee their peace so that they can do their normal businesses. For us, we are here, and we are ready to sacrifice. Those young people who want to engage in violence will not take them anywhere. That's what I want to assure you, because violence is our business. We know it better than anybody else. So when you bring violence, we know how to deal with violence. I don't want them to get involved in violence, because that mandate is with us. So let them engage in other things. Uganda is not ending today. Uganda will not end today. Uganda is there to stay. We shall all live, but this is our country. We cannot afford to tear it apart. We cannot afford to destroy it. It is for all of us, our children, for our great-grandchildren. We need to keep it. We need to keep it. And when the time comes, we give it to heaven. After all, we are not the first to come into this country, and we shall never be the last. So let us maintain peace. Let us preach peace. And after all, when Jesus was living in this world, he said, I'm leaving you with one commandment. Love one another as I did love you.
Moving on from that, Masindi Army Barracks Health Center 4 has been commissioned and handed over to the UPDF and Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs. The Minister of Energy and Mineral Development, Dr. Mary Goreti Kitutu, accompanied Colonel Charles Ngola Okello, commissioned and handed over the facility that is part of the corporate social responsibility under the construction of the 600 MW Karuma Hydro Power Plant.
1 and 0, a big hand clap. The facility is commissioned.
The expansion of Masindi Army Barracks Health Center 4 project, fully funded by Sino Hydro, will cater for about 2,500 patients, of whom 70% will be the local community and 30% Army personnel.
This facility serves on a long highway where there are many accidents. So accidents and emergency are one of the critical areas which will be addressed. And without full diagnostic capacity, X-ray and radio imaging, plus laboratory and the blood bank, you cannot do much.
Ladies and gentlemen, this beautiful health facility will indeed not only benefit the UPDF and their families, but the entire Masindi community, as has always been our policy of providing free medical services to the neighboring communities.
The $1.5 million project, implemented by Uganda Electricity Generation Company Limited, will enable trained Army medical staff offer services to residents of Masindi, Kiriandongo and Nakasongola.
In order to benefit the communities that will be directly impacted by the construction of this electrical power infrastructure, the government of Uganda negotiated a corporate social responsibility component in the contract with Signologist. The corporate social responsibility component would include the following: 2 hospitals, and one of them is this, which I'm delivering today. Now, the surgical ward is here. Then we have the theater, and that very important office called the mortuary, which is very feared but very important.
In the conceptualization of this project, given there were 2 hospitals as part of the CSR project, we felt one of the hospitals should go to the UPDF for the great service that they do for this country.
Despite the tremendous work done by UPDF medical staff, the local community is still skeptical about the Army's intentions while administering health care.
We have war, and we are going to have a big one. War does not involve bullets, missiles, no, but war of psychology. Our civilians have refused to accept that we use the same medicines. For them, they are saying the medicine we use is specifically made for soldiers.
The best thing we could do, I'm requesting the Chief of Medical Services to let UPDF doctors and nurses maybe try to bring in this